Hello, this is Claude White, and it's time for more NFL picks. Now, last week I was 3-3, which brings my season total to 14-9. It's a respectable record, but it's not where I want to be. So I'm going to work on that this week, and I hope that these picks are a lot better than they were last week. So let's begin with the Thursday night game, the Miami Dolphins going into Houston to take on the Texans. Right now, Deshaun Watson is rounding into shape. He is becoming the quarterback that he was last season. Now, to be fair, Brock Osweiler has actually played pretty well for the Miami Dolphins. Kenyon Drake has run the ball half-assed decent. But I think the Texans, as a whole, are starting to play the type of football that I personally was looking for them to play all season. The defense is solid, of course, with Jadeveon Clowney, J.J. Watt rounding back into form as well. And the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, starting to make plays. I like this team. I really think that they will put a... You know what? Miami's going to keep it a lot closer than people think. I mean, those guys are playing pretty hard for Adam Gase, but I don't think Miami's sort of a 8-8, that type of team. 8-8, 7-9 team. They started out hot with the 3-0 start, but as you can tell, with Tannehill hurt and a couple of other pieces missing, they just put Wilson on injury reserve. It looks like the Texans should win this one. It's going to be a little closer than people think, but the Texans win it, I'm going to say, by the score of 24-20 over the Miami Dolphins. Now, the second game I'm going to pick is another London game, where the Philadelphia Eagles travel there to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. That is the worst damn English accent I've ever heard. I will not do that again, I promise, okay? Jacksonville is a team in turmoil. You know, it's so funny. At the beginning of the season, everybody was talking about how the Steelers were the team in turmoil. Oh, there's a lot of infighting, a lot of sniping. Well, that's the Jacksonville Jaguars right now. They don't have a quarterback. Their defense is played lousy. They are not the same team that they were last season. Now, you can say the same damn thing about the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I don't know if there's any backbiting or any sniping in the background, but I do know the Eagles have not played well, especially on the defensive end, and they have given up more leads than anybody in the NFL. Now, their quarterback, Wentz, is playing a lot better. Their offense, I mean, they can't run the ball as well as they did last year, of course, with Ajayi out for the season and them getting rid of, oh, God, what's the running back? Oh, jeez. LeGarrette Blount, excuse me. He went, obviously, to Detroit, and as you see, Detroit has played a lot better football as well. Now, are they in the Le'Veon Bell sweepstakes? Absolutely. Now, I don't know if Bell is going to get traded. It looks like he's not. But they do need a running back there in Philadelphia. And they also need to strengthen that defense. I can see them trying to go after Patrick Peterson if they're able to get a chance. But I digress. Now, I do feel the Eagles will win this game because Jacksonville's had it. I mean, we already know what Blake Bortles is. He stinks. And they say he's on a short leash. So you're going to bring in Cody Kessler again? Yeah, good luck with that. Either way, I like Philadelphia 31-17 over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, the next game I'm going to choose is the Baltimore Ravens going up against the Carolina Panthers in Carolina. This is going to be a rock'em sock'em defensive struggle, I guarantee you. Now, neither of these teams are explosive. We know that. Joe Flacco is a mediocre quarterback at best, but one thing he can do is throw the ball down the field. But their running game is actually half-ass. The Ravens defense is a top-flight NFL defense. There's no question about it. Terrell Suggs has the fountain of youth. I just like the way that those guys fly around, and it pains me to say it because, obviously, I'm a Steeler fan. I hate the Baltimore Ravens. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, the Carolina Panthers, their defense, to me, has not played as well as I expected. even though Luke Kuechly has done his job, but their secondary is not that good. And to be honest, their front seven is not played. It's underwhelmed in a lot of these games. But they make just enough plays in order to win games, which is all you need in today's NFL. Now, quietly, as I mentioned last week, Cam Newton is having his best season. Now, he started out terrible, but he ended with a flourish. I like the way Newton is playing football right now. Devin Funchess has raised his level. He is becoming a number one receiver. Now, Greg Olsen back in the mix starting last week. They will integrate him again into the offense. Carolina is slowly rounding into form. I do like them at home over Baltimore. A very close, tight game, but I see Carolina pulling it out at the end, 20-17 over the Baltimore Ravens. Now the next game, we have the Green Bay Packers going to La La Land to face the LA Rams and that high potent offense. To me, and obviously they are the last undefeated team in the NFL. They are the most well-rounded team in the NFL. I like the way that offense is clicking. I understand the defense is not where it needs to be right now, but it's been good enough. But they do have the dominant force, one Aaron Donald, who in my opinion is the best defensive lineman in all of pro football. You can name whoever you want. They come second to Aaron Donald right now. Now, does Ndamukong Suh help that? Absolutely, because you cannot double team Aaron Donald. You have to keep at least one body, because if you try and double team Donald, Suh's going to wreck the game. They have done an excellent job in constructing this football team. Now, of course, with the Green Bay Packers, it's Aaron Rodgers or bust. They do not have a good running game. Their defense has actually played a little bit better than I thought. They do not have a great secondary, but they have a couple of good players. I mean, we've seen plenty of Clay Matthews sightings, and to be honest, Clay Matthews has gotten the raw end of a lot of these calls at the beginning of the season. In fact, everybody, for the most part, has. They don't let you hit the quarterbacks the way you're supposed to hit them. I mean, it goes back to the old Jack Lambert thing. They put a skirt on them. That's what they're doing. But I digress. I like the Rams. They're just too many weapons on the Rams. I like them over the Green Bay Packers, 34-27. Now, the Sunday night game is the New Orleans Saints going back to the scene of their crime, so to speak, where the Minnesota Vikings and that Hail Mary Case Keenum to Stephon Diggs took the Saints out of the playoffs last year. And if you don't think the Saints remember that, then I tell you, I don't know what to tell you on that. The Saints, I think, are going to they're going to come out like a house of fire against this team. Drew Brees playing the best football of his career. Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, the wide receiver. Of course, Mark Ingram back in the fold. They gained Eli Apple, who was actually starting to round into form with the Giants when they got rid of him. And they desperately needed that help at the corner position to help with Lattimore. I like the Saints here in this game. The Vikings, I mean, they played well against the Jets, of course, but that is the New York Jets. They're an up-and-down team. Now, I do expect the Vikings to play well at home, but again, there's no way I'm picking. I understand that Case Keenum got him that win. Normally, you don't pick the Keenum over Breeze like that. But listen, Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins. He'll play great. He played great last week. He'll come back down to earth this week. I like the Saints 34-24 over the Vikings. Now, in the Monday night game, New England goes to Buffalo. There's not much to say on that one. Buffalo's down to their third string. And Anderson basically right off the street. This will be his second start going up against Tom Brady. Gee, wonder who I'm going to choose. No question. Tom Brady and the Pats win big on this one. I'm going to say 30-17 because they're going to call off the dogs a little bit. They're going to have to rest up. I like the Pats in this one, 30-17 over the Buffalo Bills. And those are my NFL picks for this week. This is Claude White. Please like and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. Take care and God bless.